Hi, welcome again to my channel. This is Slanted Glasses. Today I'm going to continue my review of the Fables series. This episode is from the 13th book and then the 14th and 15th. So let's get into it. Yeah. So the 13th book is called The Great Fables Crossover. It is kind of weird book because we are getting some rest from the big arc, from the big villain that was introduced on the last book. They give us a writer villain, a writer type, the one who writes them all, who write the universe, and he tries to delete everything. But it's kind of weird because we never saw these new characters before. There are many new characters that only exists in this book. I don't know if there's any spin-off or anything like that yet, but in this book it's not horribly written, but it's jarring. The tone was suddenly really cynical, but comedic. What do you call it? Comedic, cynical, you know. And then our characters are put aside because of these many new characters, like which call themselves the genres, or it's weird. It's weird, but I think if you read all the books in one go, this book acted as a a safe point. Well, when you feel like you're not really burdened with the real threat. So maybe that's what I can tell about this book. I don't really enjoy it. I thought I was, but then when I continued to the next book, I started to think that this book is not so great. I mean, what the hell is that? What the hell what that happened? But I think it's really interesting that because there are insights into writing, there are insights into writer's block. I think the writer in real life having writer's block, so they put it into the story. So I don't know about that. It is a type of story that maybe can the concept is maybe interesting to be put into another series, another universe, another world, which what happened in the end, they put the villain in another new universe. So I don't know, maybe you can skip it straight to 14. This book is also concentrating on Jack from the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, because he was exiled from the Fable town, and in here we get some sort of not background, but we get to know him more. But he calls himself the Literals, so he kind of realized that he's a comic character, but he's not really a compelling character. Also, he's really annoying, so it feels like when he make fun of the other characters that we love, he make fun of us too. I don't think I enjoy that. Volume 14, Witches. As you can see, the cover art is serious again, so we back to the main plot, to the great villain, which later we know as Mr. Dark. So in this book, we are coming back to the main villain, main story, and and it makes us realize that we never really know what the witch do, how the witch has power. They always, in the last book, they always work on the background, making themselves the Deus Ex Machinas. But now we get to see their hierarchy, how this group of witches try to solve this Mr. Dark problem, led by led by Frau Tottenkinder. She was my favorite character, one of my favorite character too, because she's so calm. She knows what she's doing, nothing surprises her. But this new villain is quite surprising for her. She cannot fathom it. So we get into how this villain is originally captured, and how threatening he is to the characters of the fable. It's really interesting to see the the connections between all the characters, all the witch characters, all emphasizing on these group of people. There's also a side story about the Haven. So in the last book, in the last review, I told you about this one character that I was really liking, that become a king, and he created a new kingdom inside of their homeland, and it was an utopian. But something happened. So things always happen in a perfect world, which makes it not perfect, which makes him to be a really it makes the king title is something that is really hard to bear. I think it tries to emphasize that utopia is not always perfect, and what ideal and what real is a balance that you have to find the middle ground, I think. And last, number 15, Rose Red. Rose Red is this character. She is the sister of Snow White. So originally in the original tale, there are two tales which involve Snow White, which has Snow White name. In our role, I mean in reality, there are two types, not two types, there are two tales which contains Snow White in it, but it's different. It's not, it doesn't have any connections at all. The first one is the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that we know, and the second one is Snow White and Rose Red, both sisters. You can find the story on the internet, but it actually, they different tale. The Snow White in the first story and the Snow White and the second story has no connection at all, because the first one is a princess and the other one is not. But in this Fable series, they try to connect the story in a really brilliant way. I think I really enjoy reading it, and it makes us empathize with Rose Red. about how much that she's been through, how much that she has done wrong, how evil she was, and how terrible she feels when she realized that she was terrible. So it is a really interesting stuff. It is really a fairy tale-ish. They combine the true stories together to become one history of the people of the Fables. I find it really brilliant. And in this book also, we get to taste some victory over the great villain. It's not easy to defeat him, but he was defeated just for a while. They said the villain was so powerful. It makes us don't know how to defeat him, but he was defeated by someone that someone managed to defeat him, but unfortunately it's not last long. So it doesn't create the status quo back. It doesn't make the status quo back. So our Fable people, if we can say that, is still in exile in the farm, and because of this first false defeat, first Pyrrhic victory, I think, it makes them have to go from the farm also. They have to leave because the villain was pissed of the reality that he was defeated the first time. So it was really interesting. But what irks me from this book is after a while they get into quite a long, so many pages of small convenient, comfortable sketches, stories, a slice of life, that type of thing. It is actually for the reader that really loves this character, so they made small stuff which doesn't really affect the main story much. Sometimes the set is went back to when everything was all right. So I don't really enjoy that part, because they experimenting on that part. Sometimes it came in a prose style like this. So I like to read, but I want drawings. It's still a really nice touch, especially for people who are a huge fans of Fables. I'm a huge fan, but this type of story, I just know that this is not the main story, so I want to know what happened with them in real time, not back and forth to when they are happy. So that is my review of the Fables 13 to 15. I think I'm going to take some rest from this series for a while. I don't know yet, because I think there is still maybe 5 books of the main story and then some spin-offs. I just want to rest from the Fable series and read some other thing. As you can see, I bought so much book from the Big Bad Wolf, and then from other store which I really want to read, but I cannot get myself around to read those because of the Fables. So I hope it's okay if I skipped the Fables for now, and maybe a couple of book video after this is about another book. We'll see. So that's all for today. That's all for today review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this review will be informative for you guys who want to start to read these books. So goodbye for now, and Slanted Glasses out.